My weight loss journey began back in April when I was 195 pounds. Now I'm down to 157, 58, depending on how much I've eaten during the day. Now I have plateaued around that same weight for around 8 weeks. What will I do to lose the last 10 pounds? Welcome to the Liz and Scats channel. Hello, I'm Liz and I am a clinical holistic therapist, yoga and meditation teacher, and very soon to be a keto nutritionalist as well. And with my gorgeous husband Scats, we have been doing keto and intermittent fasting for the last 7 or 8 months. Scats has lost over 70 pounds and reversed his type 2 diabetes, which is fantastic. And I have lost close to 40 pounds. So now we're so close to our goals, both of us, that we have more time to be searching the internet with the ocean of information that is about keto and intermittent fasting, some of it separate. We can now collate it all together and bring it to this channel just for you. So to help us, to help you, do this.
Subscribe, and click on the bell.
So here is a little catch up. I have lost about 40 pounds since starting keto in June this year, which is about 2 3/4 stone or 17.5 kilos, depending on where you live. I've gone down from a European size 16 to 18 down to a 14, and I've lost nearly 6.5 inches from around my waist, which is amazing. But now I'm stuck, plateaued. Not going anywhere. It's been 8 weeks that I've been around about this weight and I can't seem to shift it. The lowest I got to was 154 pounds, but that was after I'd had a 4-day fast. So of course, I'm bound to put some weight back on after that. And those of you who've watched the channel know that I suffer with depressive episodes. And I have to say that during the last 6-week lockdown, it has been really tough for me and I have really struggled. And so actually the thought of losing weight or attempting to lose weight has really kind of just left me, because all I wanted to do was self-care and self-preservation, just make sure that I got through that depressive episode. So now with the most recent lockdown being released, we were able to go out last week for the first time. It did make us feel, both of us feel much better to just be able to get out a little bit further than the 5 kilometers we were allowed to before, which really helps. So now I'm feeling much better. Still a little bit mentally fragile, but this is how it is when I come out of a depressive episode. It doesn't just go ping and I'm fine again. It does take a little while to get back up to normal again. So now I'm in a position to get motivated once again to lose those last few pounds. Now I know many of you will be thinking, what in the world is she doing? We're coming up to Christmas. Surely she can leave it until after the new year. Just enjoy, feast and be happy and be merry. This is a real problem. I really feel ready to try and lose those few pounds right now. So why not do it in the Christmas period? If you eat keto and carefully and fast, we can still have a really wonderful Christmas with all those lovely goodies that we know and love, and I can still manage to keep either the same weight or be slightly lower by the time we reach New Year. Yay! My goal weight for around the Christmas time is going to be 155 pounds, and I want to stay under that weight or thereabouts for a week, and then I will know that I've hit my goal. My ideal weight is actually around about 10.5 stone, which is 147 pounds. So I'll be halfway there, which will be a little bit closer, and I won't feel so bad when I get to New Year. I won't have so far to go. My aim over the Christmas period is to not get over 160 pounds, because when I get over 160, I feel like I've got even further to go. I've got like nearly a whole stone to go, and I don't want to get to that point. So what have I been doing? I've been eating 2 meals a day up until very recently. Owing to the depression, I've been piling on more and more food onto my plate, and I have actually put some weight back on. until the other week when I got up to 159 pounds again. So close to that 160. Another problem is that the weather here over the last few weeks hasn't been brilliant. We've had really nasty high winds, a lot of rain and hail and storms, and it's just not been right for getting out and exercising. That's also an issue. So what started out as me doing 18 to 20 hours of fasting, I would then break my fast with a small snack. So just a tiny bit of cheese, a few nuts, maybe a little bit of cooked meat like salamis or chorizo, and that's perfectly fine, and it would do me well until the main meal of the day, which we'd take around about 5 to half past. So the problem was I was starting to eat almost a full meal when I got to the breaking of my fast. And of course, 2 meals in such a short space of time and no exercise is really going to cause a problem, and it was making me put weight on or not lose weight at all. Now, if I'd have been more active during that time, then I probably would have lost some weight, but unfortunately without the activity the weight still stays the same or goes up. So the other day I hit 159. That was just, no, I'm not having that. So I'm now much more motivated and I'm now getting back to the plan. So what am I doing now? For the last 2 weeks, I have been doing what's called OMAD, which is 1 meal a day. So that means I will not eat until around about 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Then I will just have like a little cube of cheese or a tiny piece of meat, and then I'll eat my main meal at around about 5, 5:15, like we always do. To ensure that I don't get hungry, I've been having what's called a bulletproof coffee, which is a coffee with some heavy cream or some whipping cream in it, without any sugar obviously. Just that on its own seems to be able to sate me until I need to eat again. Brilliant. So all in all, I'm fasting for around about 22 to 23 hours each day at the moment. So how does OMAD work? Just 1 meal a day seems a little bit alien to some people. And so what happens when we only eat 1 meal in a day? HGH, or human growth hormone, actually kicks in around 12 to 13 hours, which is amazing, as it repairs your organs and helps to rebuild muscle that's been damaged, as well as being anti-aging. Around about 17 hours, we can kick ourselves into autophagy, which is the recycling of old viruses, bad cells, things like that that are going wrong in the body. We tend to just munch them all up for food, and it just gets recycled. How very green. So the type of cells are like precancerous cells, old viruses that you might find that have been tucked away somewhere, damaged muscle and organ cells. So we're just basically replacing and repairing ourselves. Autophagy is fantastic. Also, even if we're not doing the keto diet, by the time we get to around about 14 or 15 hours, we do actually enter into ketosis, which is wonderful. Ketosis is what happens when we start burning fat for fuel. The first place that the body will look for fat is around your visceral organs. So in other words, liver, kidneys, spleen, lungs, bowel, which is superb because the less fat you have wrapped around your organs, the better they perform. Ketones also power your brain with much more efficiency than glucose. So this is a really good thing for you to be doing, especially as we get a little bit older. I hit 50 the other week. So you need to start thinking about these things. Ketones fuel all of your brain rather than glucose, which can only get to certain parts of your brain. The brain actually prefers ketone as fuel, and so if it has the choice, it will always pick ketones, and it actually bridges the brain energy gap, which is vital once we get over the age of 40 years old. Studies have shown that those people who are in ketosis the majority of the time actually have less cerebral degradation than those who weren't, providing more fuel to the whole of the brain and keeping up memory retrieval and retention, as well as helping us with overall brain function and suppressing illnesses such as Parkinson's and Alzheimer's. So with all this fantastic stuff happening in your body, why on earth would you want to eat at all? Well, of course, we do need our nutrients, and it's very important to make sure that we get exactly what we need in the way of vitamins and minerals every day. So whenever I get to 23, 24 hours, I can pretty much eat what I like. But of course, as we always recommend on the Liz and Scats channel, it's best when you're doing keto and fasting to eat whole foods, cooked from scratch, good grass-fed meat, organic vegetables, always really, really good for you, and make sure that you are looking after yourself by drinking plenty of water and herbal teas. Of course, because I actually haven't been eating all day, then that means that I can go a little bit mad with the calories as well. So I don't actually eat a lot of junk food, but when it comes to the odd square of dark chocolate, I will actually have some if I feel like it when I'm doing OMAD. And also I'll be happy to eat some fruit, so I will actually go ahead and eat fruit every day if I want to. Whereas if I was just eating 2 meals a day, I'd probably only have one lot of fruit every couple of days. It's really, really important to make sure that we get a lot of omega-3s into our bodies, and that means eating a lot of oily fish and some really good nuts. Take a look up at the cards that are coming up now, because they will show you the best nuts to eat and the omega-3s and 6s and 9s and what they do in your body. It's all absolutely fascinating. So is there a time when it's not a good idea to do 1 meal a day? Yes, there is. And that's when your body fat is less than 10%. It's best to go and see a medical practitioner to make sure that it's absolutely fine for you to eat a keto diet and to fast and to only eat 1 meal a day. Always best to be safe than sorry. Another thing is, if you're under 20 BMI or have any kind of eating disorder, it's always best to make sure that you speak to your medical professionals. They're there to help you. If you have to take medications on a daily basis and perhaps you have to space them out with food throughout the day, it's probably best that you speak to your GP or your medical practitioner before you actually embark on a 1 meal a day plan. Here's a little addition to the end of the video. Since I wrote this video, I have now realized that there is something else that I can do to help me shift this last piece of weight. And it's called metabolic shifting. And that means that 1 day a week they call a feast day. Now, this basically means that I don't have to fast if I don't want to. I can wake up and have regular breakfast, lunch and dinner, so 3 meals a day. And I can actually eat carbohydrates like breads and pastas and potatoes. As long as they remain whole foods, I can still do the same thing. Now, the reason I've started doing this, and I only did this for the first time yesterday, which was a Sunday, I had a full meal and I had potatoes and I had carrots for the first time in a very long time. It was fabulous, I have to tell you. But the reason I've started doing this is because that actually, as a 50-year-old perimenopausal woman, I do actually need some foods that create progesterone, and I've been lacking in this, so it seems. Now, I've had a little bit of hair falling out, my skin's been quite dry, and these are sort of early on symptoms that there's something not quite right in the hormones, and so I need to balance everything out again. And so doing this 1 day of feasting is absolutely fine. Now, here I am today. It's now around about 1 o'clock in the afternoon. I haven't eaten anything so far today, just tea and water, and everything is fine. And I'm probably back in ketosis again, which is fantastic. Now, I want to go into more detail about this metabolic shifting, but it won't be today because I'm still doing the extensive scientific research that I want to know and be in my brain before I convey it to you fully. So look out for that video. It will be coming up very soon. Thank you for staying all the way to the end of the video. I really appreciate it. If you have any questions or queries or comments, then please leave them below in the section. Like this video if you've enjoyed it, share it with the world, show your friends, because we love to get out and about to everybody who wants to know about keto and fasting and all of the wonderful benefits that we can get within. Don't forget that every Wednesday we're live at 8 p.m. at GMT, so do join us for that. And if you want to do that, then please subscribe and you'll get a little notification if you click on the bell, ting, and it will tell you when we're going live. We've got a lot of Christmas recipes coming up in our lives, and also all sorts of different ideas and wonderful ways to get through the holiday season, Christmas and New Year, doing keto and still losing weight or maintaining weight throughout this wonderful time of the year. See you next time.